Hello, guys. Welcome back to Gut Feelings Life Unfiltered. Today, we're diving into something that sounds very simple, but honestly is one of the most important foundations of your health, and that is your blood sugar. And I'm sure a lot of you are like, "Oh yeah, I've heard that before." But when we're talking about your blood sugar, there is a connection with fatigue, hormone imbalance, gut issues, cravings, mood swings. So, blood sugar is almost always part of the picture of a lot of health issues that we deal with.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people hear when they hear blood sugar, they immediately think diabetes. Like,
Yeah,
just that's what their
that
go-to.
is,
Well, and then they're like, "I don't have diabetes." So then, like, "I don't have a blood sugar problem." It's like, yeah, well, that's not we're not talking about that. But
that is a big misconception. And you do not need to be diabetic to have blood sugar dysregulation. In fact, we see this in so many women that actually look healthy on the outside, but they're still struggling with the blood sugar. So
that's me. Hey,
oh,
hey,
yes, yes,
I'm
yes,
the
yes.
problem. No,
Oh, wait.
I'm not the problem. But yeah, I have but my blood sugar, I'm convinced my blood sugar issue. One, I'm in perimenopause. That's a tough road, but I
Big,
also
big.
stress, and we'll talk about all of these things.
Yes,
But
massive.
that's what.
Yeah. So at a basic level, blood sugar is just the
Oh.
amount of glucose, which is sugar, that is in your bloodstream. And your body is constantly trying to keep that in a stable range. So it's like always thinking like, how do I do that? Like stress is part of it. Food is definitely part of it. So when you eat, your blood sugar should go up.
Mhm.
And insulin actually comes in and brings that blood sugar back down
Yeah,
and should shuttle that glucose or that fuel from your food into your cells. That's what should happen. And there you can use it for energy.
yeah. So it's not about avoiding the blood sugar spikes completely because this is what happens when we eat. Like
Yeah,
our blood sugar is going to have an elevation, right? Like that's what
absolutely.
happens.
Yeah, it's about more about like balance and stability. So the issue is when we get like these big
Yeah.
spikes or these big crashes where it's actually really low. So it's like a roller coaster throughout the whole day. And that's when like your symptoms will show up because you shouldn't have these massive swings.
No, so let's break it down because I think a lot of women don't realize that this feeling is a blood sugar related issue. And it's hard because most of our listeners are perimenopausal or pre-perimenopause or menopausal. So like it's hard when you're in the state of like every day is a fucking roller coaster. Like you don't even know where you're going to be or what's going on. But looking at your blood sugar is really going to help your overall like sleep and all of these other things in your life.
Big, yeah.
Mhm.
So let's start with like high blood sugar spikes. So this might look like where you have energy crashes after meals, where you should honestly, when you eat a meal, you should have no change in your energy. But if you get increased energy, something's happening. If you get decreased energy, we definitely have a blood sugar issue. Brain fog is another one where people don't kind of connect that to blood sugar. Feeling sleepy after you eat is a big one. Sugar cravings, a lot of us get that kind of later in the day. And weight gain or very difficult time losing weight, even though you've been honestly doing all the right things.
Yeah, and so let's talk about the flip side of that. The
The
lows.
lows. Yeah, low blood sugar can feel like shakiness, anxiety or feeling like on edge, irritability, dizziness, needing like having that feeling like I need to eat something right now or I'm going to
Yeah,
fall apart. And waking up in the middle of the night, like people don't realize it's like that 2 o'clock to
3
4
a.m.
a.m. waking up. What happens is when your blood sugar drops in the middle of the night, cortisol spikes and that wakes you up. And it's actually your body's trying to like save you. So we don't realize that that 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. wake up time could be blood sugar dysregulation.
Yeah, that happens to me, and it feels like my heart is racing, and I'm like, "What? Who's coming? What's coming? Ah,
Yeah.
like, what just happened?" And I'm like, "Okay, Melissa, your cortisol, like, this is the moment that your cortisol. I can feel it. I
Yeah.
can feel it." And so it's that hangry feeling is also like really, really hard. It's hard to be around as a person when I see somebody getting hangry, I'm like, "Ugh," or Levi. I always try to like my son. I try to stay up, like above his hangry feeling, but it's like a nasty feeling, and it's a nasty feeling when you're around a person who's hangry.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that's not just like a personality trait, that's
Yeah.
a real thing.
It is.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about why blood sugar is like such a big deal. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh.
The stress of it all?
The stress of the blood sugar. Yeah, so, I mean, it matters because blood sugar is directly connected to your stress response. I think a lot of us don't realize that. So when your blood sugar drops too low, your body receives like a stressor. It's like it's a massive stress to your system. So, what that does is it releases cortisol, like I mentioned, and adrenaline to bring it back up. So, when you have that dip, like Melissa does in the middle of the night, your body's like, oh my gosh, she has low blood sugar. She could die. We need to flush in the adrenaline, the cortisol, wake her up. She needs food right now. So, that's when she wakes up, like, ah, like that is like the startle response of like, your body's trying to save you.
Yeah, so even if someone doesn't, like, actually feel stressed, obviously, I'm not stressed in the middle of the night. So,
Yes.
even if you don't feel stressed, the body is pushing you into a stress response.
Yes. Yeah, so exactly. And if this happens multiple times in the day, you're constantly activating your stress hormones. You're constantly activating cortisol and adrenaline. And over time, this is going to impact your cortisol rhythm. Like it's supposed to be high in the morning and then slowly lower throughout the day. And then at night, it's supposed to be at its lowest. So it's going to impact that. It's going to impact your sex hormones. So we always talk about the connection to your hormones, your estrogen, your progesterone, your thyroid function, and it also is going to impact your gut health.
Yeah, so this becomes way bigger than just food, you
Absolutely.
know? Even though food is a piece, like, how you eat a meal, how you eat throughout the day affects your blood sugar, affects your sleep, it all affects it, but it's so dynamic.
Yeah. And this is why blood sugar is a root cause conversation, like something that is driving other symptoms. Because if your blood sugar is unstable, your body is constantly trying to compensate. And honestly, I know I've told this story before, when I wore that continuous glucose monitor into work, my blood sugar was like 10 to 15 points higher, just baseline at work. And then when I would eat a meal that had carbs or rice in it, my blood sugar spiked even higher than if I were to have had that same meal at home in a calm environment where I actually took time to sit down and breathe before I ate. Then I didn't have such a high blood sugar spike. But at work, I'm go, go, go all day. I don't get like while I'm doing notes, I'm eating lunch. It's not a calm time. And my continuous glucose monitor showed the story how much stress was impacting my blood sugar.
Yeah, so in what you're describing is probably a lot of people's lives.
Yes.
A lot of women's lives. So they're skipping meals. This is what they struggle with is they're skipping meals, they're under eating. I don't the amount of my friends that are like, this is the first time I ate today and it's 3 o'clock. I'm like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
in the world?
I know.
You know, like you
So
can't,
stressful.
it's so stressful. And I I have okay, so we'll get into like what we're supposed to do. But they start the day with coffee. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Like this whole fasting thing that like we were kind of led to down. Like I there we can fast, but not first thing in the morning. We cannot skip a meal. We cannot just have coffee first thing in
Yeah,
the
and,
morning.
like, I feel like we've been told such fake, false information where you can fast until lunch and just have black coffee.
No.
No.
No,
No.
your fasting is at night. If you stop eating at 6, fast until you wake up. That's a fast. That's a
Uh-huh.
long fast. Maybe stop at 5, whatever. If you want to make it 4, whatever. If you like fast for that time and then start your day with protein, then have your
Yes.
coffee. And that is the fasting that women should be doing.
Yeah.
Another thing is eating mostly carbs without enough protein or fat. That's going to be a problem for blood sugar and what Jen was describing earlier as chronic stress. So these are the big reasons why women are struggling, all because of these things. And it's kind of the things that I'm describing too, I feel like are what our media has put out there for years
Yeah.
of skipping meals, start your day with coffee. Like our food pyramid was fucked for a long time and we're supposed to eat mostly carbs. No, 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 no. We can eat carbs. I love carbs. Not ever gonna like leave my carbs. But if we're not eating a good balance of protein and fat and carbs, that's a problem. And then obviously like stress, like we're all just freaking holding on for dear life, right?
Yeah.
Um,
This is all the perfect recipe for blood sugar instability.
It is. So let's talk about like our practical fixes,
Yeah.
because they can be subtle changes, and I have been working on them. And if anybody who follows me on social media, I try to put out like blood sugar tips because I think it can actually change. It can change so many parts of your life, including just your mood and your presence with people. Because I know like there's times I think of the times when I'm traveling, right? Like I'm not eating healthy, I'm not eating the like my normal foods, or if I'm like rushing around in an airport, I get so hangry and get like a monster, and I'm like I become kind of a different person. I have the stress. So I
Yeah.
think about like that, and I used to operate like that all the time because I wasn't eating and I wasn't making these like doing these little teeny fixes in my life. Now that I'm doing that, I feel pretty level-headed throughout the day. Like I
Oh,
don't
good.
feel like I could like blow up or like I have more I feel more comfortable in my body. That's also from other work, but it really helps with the when my blood sugar is stable as well. So
Yeah.
we have some good simple practical fixes, and one of them is my favorite, prioritizing protein at every meal. This is absolutely huge. This will change your life. Like protein helps slow the release of glucose into the bloodstream. So it's just going to help regulate all the things we've just describing. And what you want to aim for is like 25 to 30 grams per meal if possible. And also try to eat your protein first. I don't have
Yeah.
like I like to like kind of mix my meal together a little bit, but what I do is just at least have like a third of my protein before my carbs.
Yeah.
That's what I just like that's what I'm going to do because that's how I want to enjoy I still want to enjoy my meal, but try to do that if you can.
Yeah, and the next one, which we just mentioned, is don't drink your coffee on an empty stomach, which I know is so hard because I think a lot of people our age grew up where we were taught to fast and drink black coffee.
Black coffee.
That and you should like work you should get up, drink your black coffee, work out,
Yeah,
like all this stuff where
I
it's like,
know.
"Oh my gosh." I
Well, it was
mean,
also a calories in, calories out world. Like,
yeah.
whatever if you ate a calorie, you should burn that calorie off in your exercise. That's what we were that wasn't science, that was just the media telling us how to, like,
Live
operate
our
as
lives.
skinny.
Yeah,
And then
I mean,
but also people put, like, syrupy syrups in their in their coffee, first thing with their coffee, and it's like, does you have, like, the combination of the caffeine with the sugar,
sugar, oh
it's
my
really gonna
gosh.
cause a lot of issues.
Yeah, so this is going to spike your cortisol and 100% destabilize your blood sugar. So that's why like the first one, step number 1 is always have your protein first,
Yes.
or at least like have a couple bites and then have a sip of coffee, but
Yeah.
don't have it alone, like do not have coffee first thing when you get up by itself.
Yeah, like, you put your collagen protein in your coffee. I know a lot of people do that. That's or add protein just in general, like, they make, like, a protein like, I know, Stacy Sims, the scientist, she does that. She puts, like, her espresso and protein in a little shaker and then, like, drinks that, and that's what
Yeah,
she
and
can do.
even then like I still like now I've changed up where it's like I won't have it before breakfast. Like, I have to be
Okay.
eating my
Yeah,
meal.
I like a good chewing session if you
Mhm.
like, I don't like to drink my calorie I don't not that I don't like to drink I don't really like to drink my protein. I would prefer to just chew.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chewing going on, but
Yes.
so speaking of more eating, but, we wanna eat I'm sorry, we want to build a balanced meal. So you have we talked about this a little bit already, but, like, you wanna have your protein, you wanna have your healthy fats, and you need to have some fiber.
Mhm.
So that is really gonna help that combo of those 3 types of foods, they're gonna help stabilize your blood sugar immensely.
Yeah, I think, step 4, which is eat regularly, is one that also has a big misconception where we think that we should, like, have these massive gaps between our meals. I don't know, like, there's so many people that don't eat all day, and then they're so hungry, and they have this massive meal before bed, and it is so important, especially it's easier to get the amount of protein that you need when you are having regular meals with a planned out, like Melissa said, 25 to 30 grams of protein spaced throughout the day. It's so much easier to get the right types of food, but a lot of us, I know we're busy. I know it can be hard and you really have to plan it out. Otherwise, you get to the point where you're just starving and you eat straight carbs because you're so
So
hungry.
hungry, and then you crash, and then you want something a little sweet treat after because you need a little that's why the restaurants are crazy for, like, they put the bread out, so you carb load, then you eat your meal, and you crash, and you need something sweet, so then you eat dessert.
Oh
It's a
my
it's
gosh.
a perfect system of, like, getting people to consume more. So,
Yeah.
these are tactics that they use on purpose.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, another one that we love is walking after your meals.
Yes.
And this is one of the simplest tools, guys. I mean, it even just like a 10-minute walk after eating, it can significantly improve your blood sugar response. And even if you do, like, let's say you don't have time to go for a 10-minute walk, even if you did like 20 air squats
Yeah.
or some push ups or something where you're really firing your muscles, and that causes those muscles to soak up that glucose or that blood sugar to use for fuel in the muscles. So,
Yeah.
doing that, if you're somebody that has blood sugar instability issues, like, make sure that you do this, like either a 10-minute walk or do some type of like quick resistance training after your meals.
Yeah, and if you're like you go from lunch to work, like you don't have enough time, if you're sitting, you can do 5 minutes of like calf raises to get
Mm.
that like the calf muscle. It that will also like there's other ways if like because I know people that are listening are like, well, then I do this and I have this going on. Like I would if somebody said, oh, you need to go walk 10 minutes. Well, I have my son. It's like, well,
Yeah.
no. I what I do is I put him on my back and I do
There you
10
go.
squats. He's
Yeah.
40 pounds and or we'll do a dance off. We'll have like a full dance session
Perfect.
for 4 songs. Like you don't have to make it so rigid. Just fit some kind of movement in after and yeah, I feel so much better after a walk. Like
Yeah.
I just do after like a big meal. Oh, I just want to go for a walk. Another thing and that we kind of talked about well, we did talk about is managing your stress. I noticed the biggest reason I have blood sugar instability and blood sugar issues is because of my stress.
Yeah.
And this matters more than people think. I don't, we all have like this chronic level of stress that is in our life that is causing us to not digest our food, is causing us to have blood sugar instability. And if your nervous system is in this constant state, it will be reflected.
Yeah.
You'll feel this. And so managing your stress is a huge part of this as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and then bringing this whole thing back to full circle, if your blood sugar is unstable, your body is constantly being pushed into stress mode. So it's like they feed off of each other. And a stressed body doesn't heal efficiently. It doesn't regulate your hormones, like we say all the time. It doesn't support optimal gut function. So before you go chasing like the next supplement for blood sugar, start with these simple steps.
I really appreciate that you're saying that because I there are supplements that they claim and they say and I'm sure there's some level of science like berberine and those things have been they tell people like they work, right? For me, berberine is a stimulant for me. And then my brain will be it like I can't sleep with berberine. So
Wow.
that doesn't work for me. So with patients, like, start with stuff that is so easy that you can it and you see the long-term effects with these small habit changes.
Yeah.
Popping a pill for an ill is not
Yeah.
going to be this long-term care that you really, really need, and your soul is listening. So, like, if you're say, "I'm gonna go for a walk because I deserve this for myself after this meal, like, I had a beautiful meal and I deserve a little walk," like, your soul's like, "Wink, wink. You got me, girl." Like, really, this is
Yeah.
acknowledging this is like a hug for yourself when you do these little things and take care of yourself. And so, yes, there are supplements for all the things out there, but I'm so glad you brought that up. I really think that these subtle changes, they've made a difference in my life, and I believe that they'll make a difference in everybody's life that's listening.
Yeah, and if you guys take one thing from this episode, stability of blood
Stability.
sugar is the goal. It's not
Yes.
perfection, it's not restriction, but it's giving your body consistent, supportive signals throughout the day. Because when your blood sugar is stable, everything else improves. Like it's one of the foundations.
Yeah, and know that it takes a little bit of time for your body to start adjusting to this as
Yeah.
well. Like you're not going to be able to do all of these little this list and then all of a sudden the sun is shining and your blood sugar is stable. Like you have to be consistent with your the care to yourself.
Yes.
So
Make it
I
your lifestyle.
make it your lifestyle. So thank you for listening. I hope there was some great information that you could take away from this and we will see you guys next on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.